Today marked the 10th consecutive day in which Mullen stock price had to be above $1. As you can see, price is at 49 cents, and they were nowhere near 10 consecutive days at or above $1 in order to stay in compliance with NASDAQ listing rules. So as you can see on the daily chart, we have this huge resistance band at the $1 stock. Previously, that served as support, flipped into resistance as price collapsed, tried to surge higher, but the sellers or short sellers push price back down. Let's get into this article, and then we're going to talk about the implications of Mullen getting delisted from the NASDAQ. So this article is coming from Investor Place. Today is the last day for Mullen stock to regain NASDAQ compliance. All eyes on Mullen Automotive stock as today, September 5th, is the last day for the EV company to regain compliance with NASDAQ's continued listing policy. In order to gain compliance, Mullen stock must close at or above the $1 level for at least 10 consecutive business days, but generally no more than 20 consecutive business days. They tried multiple things to try to get their stock at $1 or above. Back in May, they did a reverse stock split, and at that time they did a 1-for-25 reverse stock split. That didn't work, and so later they did another reverse stock split. This time it was a 1-for-9 reverse stock split, resulting in a reverse stock split ratio of 1 stock for 225 stocks. They even tried to say that the brokerage was helping the shorts short the stock, preventing the stock from getting pumped up to $1 and beyond. Let's check out this clip.
All right, folks, by popular demand, we're going to cover that Mullen lawsuit. Joining me now, in fact, Mullen Automotive Chairman, CEO David Misery, along with Christian Atter, law managing partner Wes Christian, who's been on our show before. And David, thanks for joining the show. For folks who aren't familiar with it and say, well, why would we be talking about a 60-cent stock? I do want to point out your average daily volume is 274 million shares a day. You've got quite a huge following of retail investors who have fallen in love with your stock. Many of them are disappointed. I want to talk to you about a series of things, but let's begin first and foremost with this lawsuit that you have against these brokerage firms. What are you alleging here?
Well, we've sent a loud and clear message to the world that we're not going to stand by and allow illegal short selling of our stock, and hopefully we can be the change that makes things different here and gets people to pay attention to what's going on, specifically with Mullen and all the other companies out there that have to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. Wes Christian, who is quarterbacking this entire lawsuit, could elaborate as to the merits of the lawsuit.
Wes, without adjudicating it, the whole thing here, of course, I know that you've helped these sort of situations before. Are you alleging that these firms are doing it, or that they're just simply allowing it to happen?
No, Charles. Well, first, Charles, thank you for having me back again, buddy. We appreciate it. I know this is a passionate subject for you, too. What we're alleging, simple version, is the defendants in this case illegally violated Rule 15C33, which is the customer protection rule, as well as Rule 14B1, both of which stem out of them either short selling shares illegally by not having a proper borrow. Why? Because they were using customers' accounts, which violates Rule 15c3.3, and in doing so, and knowing that there's going to be shares coming in these conversions that happened.
Right.
And then when those conversions happen, they use those shares to repay their customers' account shares. Or similarly, they illegally lent those shares to someone else that did short selling. What we do know, Charles, just to give you some basic optics, 65 million shares failed to deliver in June of 2023. We have verified from the brokers, the defendants in this case, Charles, own records that they sent to Broadridge that they had 19 million to 54 million shares of imbalances.
Right.
What that means is they reported more shares that they had beneficially owned than they had at the DTC. That's what we call imbalances.
Right. Okay.
Once those are ongoing and systemic, then it's signs of illegal short selling.
All right. By the way, we reached out to all of these firms. Schwab got back to us. I'll read their statement. This lawsuit spins an outlandish conspiracy theory that blames Schwab for the performance of Mullen Stock, but the complaint is long on salacious allegations and short on truth. The truth is that Schwab always acted professionally, legally, and ethically in this manner. David, let me go.
So now what? What happens now? Well, back in March, NASDAQ stated the following. If compliance cannot be demonstrated by September 5th, staff will provide written notification that the company's securities will be delisted. Now, what does this all mean? Well, if you are a bag holder of Mullen stock after the delisting, it's going to be difficult to sell your stock on over-the-counter market because there's going to be a lot less liquidity, and it's going to be harder to find buyers at the price you want. In addition, as you've seen with a lot of these EV startup makers, they need capital. However, if you are delisted from a major exchange, if the company needs funding, they won't be able to raise capital like they have in the past from the public markets. And future potential investors see a stock trading over the counter as a little suspect, not really legit. They even tried to do a buyback. They initiated a $25 million buyback program, which expires later this year. Thus far, the company bought back $5.61 million worth of shares, as the CEO thought and felt the company was way undervalued. Here's what the CEO had to say. As I stated on many prior occasions, I believe that our stock is undervalued. The company has a strong balance sheet, and we continue to execute on our business plan, including our recent Class 3 production start with the first vehicles rolling off the line. All right. What does this all mean? Well, let's scroll up to the weekly chart to put things into perspective. When price pumped from $1 to $3, that was definitely an opportunity to sell. When price broke the $1 support, which became resistance, and price pumped up to that level, that was definitely an opportunity to sell. And to start the week off, we're getting a slight bump in price. However, any pumps are going to be an opportunity to sell. Why? Because although they can appeal the delisting, they're not going to win the appeal. And what that means is that price is going to continue to go down as their stock is less prestigious. The buyer and sellers are going to have a tough time buying and selling the stock. And the company is going to need more capital. But where's that going to come from? If they're just being kicked out of one of the largest and most prestigious exchanges in the world. Look for a target and a collapse in price of 50% more to the 25-cent level. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.